Welcome to the Hank Cisco Show, ladies and gentlemen. Don't touch the remote. Great show today. This is about life. Life is sweet, tender, and complete. So our guest today is talking about the beginning and the end. But the most important is during the time, before and after. So we have a very interesting show, something that everybody will experience, believe me. And my guest from local Jeffersonville, right?
Norristown, too.
Norristown, from Norristown, Jeffersonville. Tell me your name and what you do.
Jeanne Huff, and I wrote a book. It only took me 12 years.
12 years.
Yes.
And there it is, right here.
The thing about writing a book is you don't know when you're finished. You know, you write and you write and you write, and then all of a sudden you're finished. And the book is called Between Now and Then, and it addresses the question, what are you going to do with the rest of your life between now and then? And that means today and the last day of your life. There's a lot to do. And some people just figure they're going to live forever, and they can put everything off till later. And that's really not true.
No. So this book, why did you, how'd you get the name? Between Now and Then.
Years ago, I was having a conversation, a very casual conversation with someone, and he said, I'm not afraid of dying. I'm afraid of what's between now and then. Now that conversation took place 29 years ago. And when it came time to come up with a title, those words were just in my head, between now and then. And it seems just right. I was very pleased. And I'm trying to actually find the man to tell him that they were his words. So far, I haven't succeeded, even with the internet, but I'll find him sooner or later.
Oh, yeah.
I'm persistent.
Now, tell me something about you. You were born where?
Actually, I was born in Roxborough.
Roxborough.
And I moved to Norristown when I was 6.
What school did you go to?
I went to Holland School in Curran Terrace for 6 years, and then to Stewart Junior High School.
Stewart?
And Norristown High School, class of 59.
59. Who was the principal?
Oh, dear.
Cost? No.
I guess.
I don't know. Do you remember any of your teachers?
Oh, yes. We had a mini reunion on Saturday at the commercial club, and we were talking about an English teacher in Stewart named Miss Brady.
What was her name?
Brady.
Oh, it's Stewart?
Stewart. She was a tall woman with white hair.
Was she tall? Mm-hmm. She used to be at Roosevelt, I think.
That right?
Huh?
Is that right?
Yeah, I had her in the sixth grade, I think, in Roosevelt. It was when you the front of it was in the back. The class was in the back, second floor in the back.
Well, she had this thing about
Brady,
the word
very tall.
Done. You were not allowed to use the word done. You had to say you're finished, not done. She said you're not done till you're dead. And we had a good laugh.
Wait, run that by me again now. What's this?
She didn't like if you used the word done when you really meant finished.
Oh.
And she said, you're not done till you're dead. So at our reunion last week, we had a good laugh over that. I remember most of it. We had wonderful teachers. Arthur Herr.
Yeah, we did have. And most of the teachers lived in the Norristown area, too. That was good. I mean, everybody lived there. The ministers lived here. The teachers lived here. The policemen lived here. Everybody lived right in Norristown. And it was a whole lot. Now, one's in Hong Kong, the other's in Yokohama, the other's in England, the other in Italy, the other, you don't know where they are. They're 4 points off the Chinese Navy. So we're a house of strangers anymore now. So, but this book, tell me, what can people get the most out of in this book?
I think the most important thing that you'll get from reading this book is the need for conversations, the need to talk to your family, to express what it is you want to do between now and then. A lot of people have things they want to do that they never talk about because somebody would laugh at them, or you think it's too expensive, or somebody will tell you it's stupid. Nobody likes to be thought of as stupid, but I have this story in the book that always touched me. A woman was married for a long time, and she wanted a red dress. And each time she'd mention, I want to buy a red dress, her husband would say to her, that's really stupid. We don't have the money for a red dress. You're not buying a red dress. And then she died. And he asked his minister if he thought it would be okay to bury her in a red dress.
Yeah.
If you want a red dress, my advice to you is go buy a red dress, because the universe will not stop.
Yeah.
You will not break the bank. If you want a red dress that bad,
Right,
that it's a
right.
lifelong desire. And this is what I want people to think. There are things that people want to do that they don't talk about. And people don't talk about what they want for their funeral. They don't talk about what kind of end of life medical treatment they want. I mean, I know people they sign living wills, but from working with lawyers for so many years, I know people don't understand the documents. They sign them,
Yeah.
but they don't understand
They
them.
don't understand what they're writing.
And I tried to explain all that in this book. These are subtle things that if you sign this document, this is what it represents in English, plain, simple language.
Well, let me say this. I looked at the book. You sent the book over. You left it at Greco-Roman. I couldn't get up there. So my grandson is a policeman in West Norton. So Mario at Greco-Roman, he says, will you give this to your grandpop? He says, he hasn't been up here. So he's the one who put it in the mailbox for me.
Okay.
So, but I want to say something about this book. I'm an 8th grade dropout. You know, I didn't think school was that important. I wanted to be a boxer. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do that. But later on, and I became a policeman. After I put in about 13 years on the police department, going to retire with 20 years, somebody whispered in my ear, you better get an education, because after you leave the police department, you're going to look for a job. And you don't have the education, you don't have a diploma, you're going to have problems getting a job. So I got a GED. I got my GED. I went to community college. I got a associate degree in police science. And I think that, and I'm not a great reader. You know, I went to Catholic school, public schools. This book is very easy reading, you know, and I'm not a kind of guy that every little word or so, but it's easy reading. It explains, you know, every little thing that you want to prepare yourself in life. I'm 90 years old. I'll be 90 years old November the 9th, and you're going to be, you're November what, 13th?
15.
15, right. So
I won't be 90 though.
so I'm not going to be around here too long. How long am I going around? I'm 90, you know. Thank God that I got my health. I'm able to do these shows, 2 shows today, and 25 years doing this show. So, but my 3 daughters, Joanne, she takes care of finances and everything, and I got the other one helps with the house, and have the other one, my wife has Alzheimer's, and they take care of it, and I had a lady come up. So everything is working good. We're preparing. And I'm not going to be around all the time, you know. So they have to get everything in order. And this book is going to help my daughter plan. What she's planning now, but there's a lot of stuff in here I didn't know, and I'm sure she don't know, and I'm sure a lot of people out there don't know how to prepare yourself. You prepare yourself for a boxing bout. You're going to play baseball, you prepare yourself. You're going to play football, you train, you get yourself together. Why not get yourself together for your life? When the time comes, then everybody's excited. Where we're going to do this? Who's the undertaker? Where we're going to bury him? Where we're going to do this? All these things. I know I was a police officer, and I remember I came to the scene where someone suddenly died, and all of a sudden the people are panicked. The parents are running here, running there. Call the undertaker. Call it down. So avoid that. Prepare yourself, and you'll have peace. You have peace of mind. Believe me, I'm talking from the heart, from the mouth, from the brain, or the brain, the mouth, the heart. I don't know which comes first. So come on, tell me a little bit more.
There's only 5 chapters in the book. They're large. It was suggested to me that I write 5 separate books instead of 1. The chapters are called Legal, Financial, Funeral, Record Keeping, and Personal, your personal life. And every one of them, an action that you make in one chapter is going to connect one way or another to the others. Let's say that you work yourself up into debt to the point of bankruptcy. That's a personal choice, but it's also a financial choice, and now it's a legal choice. So these things all connect. And the only way I figured I could actually make people see how they connect is to put it all in one book. Because what if I made 5 books and somebody just bought the financial one? They wouldn't know that it connects to the legal and the personal. And the word you were just using is preparation. This book is almost like a prep course for an SAT.
Right.
I want people to be prepared when they sit across the desk from a lawyer who says to them, what do you want your will to say? That's a big question. That requires thinking, conversations in your family. You just can't come up with a quick answer like that.
No.
When a financial planner says to you, what do you want your money to do for you? I remember being asked that question. I had no answer for that because it's too big. It takes time and thought and conversation. And you know yourself with funerals, if there's a sudden death in the family, you go to the funeral director and he has this long list of questions to ask you. Are you prepared to answer those questions? They're facts. Did you bring a copy of his discharge sheet? Did you bring a copy of this? And be prepared. But then when your doctor says to you, what kind of treatment do you want at the end of your life? Do you want to be kept alive at all costs, hooked up to all kinds of machines? And if you don't, you need to say so. And not only in that piece of paper called a living will, you need to tell your family, I don't want this. And I need you to speak for me if I can't speak for myself.
Yeah.
And then we're up to the personal section. What do you want to do? You want the red dress? Go buy the red dress.
Right.
If you want to take a cruise, if your whole life you thought, oh, wouldn't that be wonderful, just one little cruise, find the money, figure it out. You can do it. The money's there someplace. Go on the cruise. Because if you don't do those things while you're still alive and healthy, you could die with regrets. I want people to die with no regrets.
Right. Well, you know, I was a police officer in Norristown. I had 3 older brothers. My mother died suddenly. She was sitting at the telephone and just talking, and she just died. She was just sitting there. And so when I got to the house, words that I remember that stay right in your brain when my sister called me, Sister Mary called me and says, Hank, come right away. I can't wake Mom up. You know. Another one, my brother called, Hank, come on over. I think Pop's dead. Hank, come on over. I think Joe passed away. You know, so I was always the first one there because I was a policeman. They thought, well, but I had no training or anything. When my mother was the first one to die in the family, I had to go to the funeral parlor. I had to pick out the dress because the other ones all froze, even though they were older than they froze. They were in shock. And I had to go over there, the lipstick, and I want to make sure she looked beautiful and everything. The same thing with my dad, my brother. I was always the one right there. Thank God that they give me the strength to do it. But I was not prepared for that. Thank God that I had a little experience as a police officer that I was able to do it. But your book here is going to be helpful. It makes people, you know, be prepared for that sudden time when you get a phone call and say, so-and-so, come over here right away. When I was a police officer to get to Montgomery Hospital, I remember a little kid drowned up at Forest Avenue. There was a lake, brickyard, and there was like a little lake there, and a little kid with snow, and he fell down and he drowned. And the father came, and they had to tell the father, you know. So we always tell them, come to the hospital right away. We need you. We don't tell them he's dead. So, and then I just say, well, the only thing they would say when my brother died, the nurse when I got there, Sacred Heart Hospital, she says we did everything we could.